All right, so if you have an MPC, most likely you're gonna be sampling some type of audio. It doesn't matter what style of music you're gonna be recording. I think almost every style of music is using some form of sampling. So today I'm going to be going over sampling or advanced sampling in the MPC. If you're new to this channel, welcome and thank you for hanging out with me for the next few minutes. And if you're somebody that's been hanging out with me already on previous videos, this is probably something you've already heard me talk about, but I'm going to be explaining how I'm using this, and it just gives me an excuse to make another beat. So let's jump right into it. So sampling, if we jump into our sampler, one thing to keep in mind, this is going to be helpful for anybody in the MPC-1, MPC Live, or MPC-X. So if you have any of those machines, follow along. It's going to be the same workflow. Being here in our sampler page, I'm actually going to be talking about pad tap and pad hold. Pad tap and pad hold are the same thing. I'm going to explain what the difference is, but it's pretty much the same thing. That's actually what I use 90% of the times when I'm sampling in my MPC. These two, sample and slice mode, is going to be very similar. When you sample with the sample mode, you start it, and whenever you want to stop, you stop sampling. And it saves that audio in the sample pool of your MPC's project. In order for us to create a sample program from that audio we just captured, we got to jump into our sample editor, do our chops, or do whatever we have to do, and then convert that audio into a drum program. Then we can start performing it. So that's the step that we have to do with both of these features. Slice mode is the same thing. The only difference here in slice mode is whenever you hit a pad, it creates a sample, and then every time you hit a pad again, it chops it to the next pad, to the next one, to the next one. So it's very convenient and very fast to start slicing your samples while you're sampling. But again, once you're done sampling in slice mode, you still have to jump into your sample editor and convert that into a drum program to start performing that in your project that you're working in. Now, going into pad tap and pad hold, this is really, really interesting because I've talked about this before, that when I hear music, I don't know how you are, let me know down in the comments, but when I hear something or I hear a record that just inspires me, I'm very fast. I don't care about perfection at that moment. I just want to lay down my idea, kind of like this is my scratch paper right here. So I plug in my phone or I plug in the record, I hit record and I start sampling, and I don't want to go through the whole sample editor page and convert that into a drum program. These two options skips the sample editor, and you don't have to do that. As soon as you're in pad tap and slice is the same thing. Every time you hit a pad in pad tap, it starts recording. Every time you hit the next pad, it moves a slice to that pad, so on and so on. But once you're done and you hit stop, you don't have to go into the sample editor. It will automatically create those chops that you just sampled into whatever drum program you were selected lastly. So for an example, right here, this is a blank session. Automatically, I'm in track 1 and it creates program 001 automatically without me even doing anything. That's just how initially the MPC starts off with. So if I'm right here, I plug in my phone and I start sampling, it's going to create those audio samples into program 001. And boom, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to start performing and laying something down the grid. So it's so fast, so convenient, and it skips the process of doing this whole sample editor stuff. All right, so hopefully that made sense. And if it didn't make sense, right now I'm actually going to be putting a beat together and showing you exactly how I'm going to be using this feature. So I have this song right here on my phone. I'm going to jump into my sampler. But before I start recording, one thing that I'm going to mention, notice right here in this project or the home page, I have track. I'm not going to label anything right now. This is the default way it comes. It's just track 1 and program 001. I'm going to leave it right there. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to jump right into my sampler, make sure pad tap is selected, and I'm going to wait for the section where I'm going to start sampling. All right, so I got that into stop recording. I just hit stop right here. And now I'm going to stop my this song that I'm playing, and that's all I did. Now, as you see, these all lit up yellow. Once I go to my home page, I didn't go to sample edit. I'm still right here in program 001, and already I can start triggering these samples. That right there, I'm going to move forward. We're going to make a beat, but we're going to see in a few minutes right now as I'm building this beat, putting it together, I'm going to jump back into this record. I'm going to keep digging. I'm going to keep building on top of this program that I have. As a matter of fact, I can name this right here, just sample, hit do it. Now that drum program is called sample because that's where my sample's at. The start point of these, I can still adjust it. If I go to my sample or my program editor, I go to my samples right here. I can jump in right here and I can see if I want to adjust the start point right here, I can adjust it. Now, again, if I want to pitch down, go to my global and I want to pitch it down 2 semitones. So I'm obviously talking through this video and explaining, but in reality, I'm already ready to start coming up with ideas. It hasn't even, I haven't done anything right now, just sample from my phone and I'm already ready to go. Yeah. I'm already starting to tap out. All right, I'm about 70 beats per minute. I can start laying this down. All right, so now that I have my idea going, I can jump straight into track number 2. Going into track number 2, I'm gonna create a blank drum program, and right here's where I'm gonna start adding my drums. And right away, I can start auditioning different drums that are gonna fit the sample that we're listening to right now. Again, the main idea here is just letting your creative vibe continue. No stopping the vibe. No stopping and doing your sample editor and doing the small adjustments that you already got this stuff figured out. So right now I'm going to jump into my drum samples. And you know what? I'm actually really excited right now because today we are launching Sample Pack Volume 3. So these drums right now that you're about to hear, they're part of my new Sample Pack Volume 3. It is available today. So after this video, go down to the description of this video. If you guys want to pick up Volume 3, you can go ahead and pick up that sample pack as of right now. So we're going to go through everything you're going to hear right now is from Volume 3. So let's have some fun. I'm going to play the sample in the background and we're going to start auditioning different kicks, snares, and hi-hats. Now we're in the Sample Pack Volume 3. I got kicks, snares, and hi-hats. I'll go to my kicks and let's start auditioning some of these kicks while that sample is being played. Ooh, yeah. I'm actually gonna load up all these kicks. Now we'll jump into some snares. I'll put some of these snares in bank C. Woo. Now we're gonna jump into the hi-hats. And same with the hi-hats, I'm gonna load them up all in bank D. All right, so we have everything loaded up. Bank B, C, and D. I got all my kicks right here. Just so you could hear a few of the kicks. Got some snares right here. Ooh. Some hi-hats and some open hats. But what I usually do is just audition those kicks, snares, and hi-hats while I'm playing back the sample like you guys saw me doing earlier, and whatever just feels right with the sample, because the texture of the drums that you're going to be using, I want them to kind of match the texture of my sample. That's a problem that I used to have all the time when I was just getting started, was sampling records that were recorded, you know, very dirty and grimy, and I'm like, whoa, this sounds so good, the texture's so good, and then I would use some stock one-shots from my DAW, and when I would try to mix this, it was so hard to mix it because it just was not blending well. And with these samples that I'm putting out, I mean, I'm just curating them to match some of the textures that I would hear in some of the samples that I'm recording. Now, they're not going to sound like the samples that I'm recording, but it sounds like it's the same, it's in the same category. So I think that's the main thing that I look for when I'm putting some drum shots on top of my samples, where it's already sounding mixed to me without me even doing a mix. Let's start off with the kick. I mean, all these actually sound really good. Oh, this one sounds, I like this one. This one stands out. Let's start off with this kick. I'm gonna turn off TC, so no quantize, and start laying this down. All right, now we start adding the snare. Now we jump into the hi-hats. I like this right here. Let's lay that one on top. We can actually go to 16 level, add some other hi-hats on top of that, but lower velocity. Yeah. Yo, that sounds awesome. All right, cool. Let's actually delete this and let's see how it sounds with that gap. Yeah. All right, cool. Liking how that sounds. You see, I haven't even mixed it yet, and it already sounds pretty mixed. Like, I love how the blend sounds with the drums and the sample. Now, that's why when I go to my master chain, I like to add this Air Flavor Pro. And the Air Flavor Pro followed by an EQ, it just puts everything together, and it just, I don't know, it just sits well, and it just sounds done. It's almost like my mastering chain. This is without it, without the Air Flavor Pro, and that's with it. Awesome. So that actually sounds really good. And this happens to all of us. This happens to me, and it still happens to me, where we'll create like a good sequence and we're stuck right there. And it's like, man, all right, cool. Well, what happens next? Well, the really cool thing about, we're going to go back into sampling right now. The cool thing about pad tap and pad hold is that if you are stuck, if you go back to your sample program that we've created, which is right here, I got bank B is filled up. And actually, you know what? Just bank B, I filled up bank B in the sample program. That's all I filled up. Bank A, C, D, those are still cleared out. There's nothing right here. I want to keep going through that record. I'm going to keep looking to see if there's any other parts that I want to sample with, just so I can switch up the beat a little bit. So if I grab my phone, I'm going to fill up in bank C whatever I find here that actually sounds really good. Woo! Oh, man. All right. So I'm going to stop right there. Now I have everything filled up. I filled up C, D, and A. Now, the really cool part right here is that we didn't have to create a different sample program. We're just adding to what we have already. So if we're right here in sample, the one that we're already working with, we pitch this down -2 semitones, and everything we added on top of the sample program, it's also pitched down automatically -2 semitones. So yes. Oh my goodness. I'm about to go get some coffee right now. Give me a second. Woo, that shit is sounding good. All right. Now, if you've been sampling for a very long time, you're going to appreciate the value of having these options right here. Okay, so now we can actually work with a little bit more. I can go from 2 bars. I'm going to duplicate this. Let's make this double length. So now we went from 2 bars to 4 bars. And what I would like to do is on the 4th bar, actually on the very last bar, I'm going to just grab this selector right here and just select this last bar. Woo. Okay, so now I'm adding with what I added on top of this program, so it's not too repetitive. God, wow. As a matter of fact, I can kind of introduce this on the, the 3rd bar right here, so it kind of leads up to that. Okay, let's put that right there on the 3rd bar. Now, if you really enjoy the sound of this sample program that I'm creating right now, if you become a member to my sample sharing community right here in YouTube, I'll leave a link down in the description. I'll give you access to these samples that I'm creating. I'm just sharing with you my sample programs. So everything's already chopped up. You guys can go ahead and take this audio, put it into your MPC, and follow along with me or recreate your own beat. But I will be providing you all the resources that I have. I know a lot of you asked me, yo, what sample was that? What record is that? Sign up to the sample sharing program. So once again, this is put together right here. We're using Sample Pack Volume 3. It is out now. If you guys enjoy the sound of these drum shots, go down to the description of this video, pick up Sample Pack Volume 3. It's a very good way to support the channel, and not just supporting the channel, but also rocking with sample-based music, man. These sounds are just created with great textures, as you guys can hear right now with the samples that we're chopping up, putting these drums on top. Go ahead and pick up the Sample Pack. And also, if you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, make sure you guys subscribe. Hang out with me on the future videos. I'm more than happy to continue to make these videos and nerd out with you. So thank you so much. You have a blessed day. I'll catch y'all on our next video. Peace. Come on.